When I Remember by INGELOW. Read for LibriVox.org by Kachuk. When I remember something which I had, but which is gone, and I must do without, I sometimes wonder how I can be glad, even in cowslip time, when hedges sprout. It makes me sigh to think on it, but yet my days will not be better days, should I forget. When I remember something promised me, but which I never had, nor can have now, because the promiser we no more see in countries that accord with mortal vow. When I remember this, I mourn, but yet my happier days are not the days when I forget. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain. Comfort in the Night by INGELOW. Read for LibriVox.org by Kachuk. She thought by heaven's high wall that she did stray, till she beheld the everlasting gate, and she climbed up to it to long and wait, feel with her hands, for it was night, and lay her lips to it with kisses, thus to pray that it might open to her desolate. And lo, it trembled, lo, her passionate crying prevailed. A little way it opened, there fell out a thread of light, and she saw winged wonders move within. Also she heard sweet talking as they meant to comfort her. They said, "Who comes to-night shall one day certainly an entrance win." Then the gate closed, and she awoke content. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain. Regret by INGELOW. Read for LibriVox.org by Kachuk. Oh, that word, regret! There have been nights and morns when we have sighed, "Let us alone, regret! We are content to throw thee all our past, so thou wilt sleep for aye." But it is patient and it wakes. It hath not learned to cry itself to sleep, but plaineth on the bed that it is hard. We did amiss when we did wish it gone and over. Sorrows humanize our race. Tears are the showers that fertilize this world, and memory of things precious keepeth warm the heart that once did hold them. They are poor that have lost nothing. They are poorer far who, losing, have forgotten. They most poor of all who lose and wish they might forget. For life is one, and in its warp and woof there runs a thread of gold that glitters fair, and sometimes in the pattern shows most sweet where there are sombre colors. It is true that we have wept, but oh, this thread of gold, we would not have it tarnish. Let us turn oft and look back upon the wondrous web, and when it shineth, sometimes we shall know that memory is possession. Happy years are short. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain. Love by INGELOW. Read for LibriVox.org by Kachuk. Who veileth love should first have vanquished fate. She folded up the dream in her deep heart. Her fair full lips were silent on that smart. Thick fringed eyes did on the grasses wait. What good? One eloquent blush, but one, and straight the meaning of a life was known. For art is often foiled in playing nature's part, and time holds nothing long inviolate. Earth's buried seed springs up, slowly or fast. The ring came home, that one in ages past flung to the keeping of unfathomed seas, and golden apples on the mystic trees were sought and found, and borne away at last, though watched of the divine Hesperides. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain. Love's Thread of Gold by INGELOW. Read for LibriVox.org by Kachuk. In the night she told a story, in the night and all night through, while the moon was in her glory, and the branches dropped with dew. 'Twas my life she told, and round it rose the years as from a deep. In the world's great heart she found it, cradled like a child asleep. In the night I saw her weaving, by the misty moonbeams cold, all the weft her shuttle cleaving, with a sacred thread of gold. Ah, she wept me tears of sorrow, lulling tears so mystic sweet. Then she wove my last tomorrow, and her web lay at my feet. Of my life she made the story. I must weep, so soon 'twas told, but your name did lend it glory, and your love its thread of gold. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
Failure by INGELOW. Read for LibriVox.org by Foon. We are much bound to them that do succeed, but, in a more pathetic sense, are bound to such as fail. They all our loss expound. They comfort us for work that will not speed, and life itself a failure. I, his deed, sweetest in story who the dusk profound Of Hades flooded with entrancing sound, music's own tears, was failure. Doth it read therefore the worse? Ah no, so much to dare. He fronts the regnant darkness on its throne. So much to do, impetuous even then. He pours out love's disconsolate sweet moan. He wins, but few for that his deed recall. Its power is in the look which costs him all. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain. Love and Peace by INGELOW. Read for LibriVox.org by Foon. One morning, oh, so early, my beloved, my beloved! All the birds were singing blithely, as if never they would cease. 'Twas a thrush sang in my garden, "Hear the story, hear the story!" And the lark sang, "Give us glory!" And the dove said, "Give us peace." Then I listened, oh, so early, my beloved, my beloved! To that murmur from the woodland of the dove, my dear, the dove. When the nightingale came after, "Give us fame to sweeten duty." When the wren sang, "Give us beauty," she made answer, "Give us love." Sweet is spring, and sweet the morning, my beloved, my beloved! Now for us doth spring, doth morning, wait upon the year's increase. And my prayer goes up, oh give us, crowned in youth with marriage glory, gift for all our life's dear story, give us love and give us peace. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
Above the Clouds by Jean Ingelow. Read for LibriVox.org by Bruce Kachuk. And can this be my own world? 'Tis all gold and snow, save where the scarlet waves are hurled down yon gulf below. 'Tis thy world, 'tis my world, city, mead, and shore. For he that hath his own world hath many worlds more. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain. Like a Laverock in the lift by Jean Ingelow. Read for LibriVox.org by Bruce Kachuk. It's we two, it's we two, it's we two for aye. All the world and we two, and heaven be our stay. Like a Laverock in the lift, sing, O bonny bride. All the world was Adam once, with Eve by his side. What's the world, my lass, my love? What can it do? I am thine, and thou art mine. Life is sweet and new. If the world have missed the mark, let it stand by. For we two have gotten leave, and once more we'll try. Like a Laverock in the lift, sing, O bonny bride. It's we two, happy side by side. Take a kiss from me, thy man, now the song begins. All is made afresh for us, and the brave heart wins. When the darker days come, and no sun will shine, thou shalt dry my tears, lass, and I'll dry thine. It's we two, while the world's away, sitting by the golden sheaves on our wedding day. Sweet is childhood, childhood's over, kiss and part. Sweet is youth, but youth's a rover, so's my heart. Sweet is rest, but by all showing, toil is nigh. We must go, alas, the going. Say goodbye. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain. Binding Sheaves by Jean Ingelow. Read for LibriVox.org by Bruce Kachuk. Hark! A lover binding sheaves to his maiden sings. Flutter, flutter go the leaves, larks drop their wings. Little brooks, for all their mirth, are not blithe as he. Give me what the love is worth that I give thee. Speech that cannot be forborne tells the story through. I sowed my love in with the corn, and they both grew. Count the world full wide of girth, and hived honey sweet, but count the love of more worth laid at thy feet. Money's worth is house and land, velvet coat and vest. Work's worth is bread in hand, aye, and sweet rest. Wilt thou learn what love is worth? Ah, she sits above, sighing, weigh me not with earth. Love's worth is love. In his young heart she reigned, with all the beauties that she had, and all the virtues that he rightly took for granted. There he set her with her crown, and at her first enthronement he turned out much that was best away. For unaware his thoughts grew nobler. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
Cold and Quiet by Jean Ingelow, read for LibriVox.org by phone. Cold, my dear, cold and quiet, in their cups on yonder lea, cowslips fold the brown bee's diet, so the moss enfoldeth thee. Plant me, O love, a lily flower. Plant at my head, I pray you, a green tree. And when our children sleep, she sighed, at the dusk hour, and when the lily blossoms, oh come out to me. Lost, my dear, lost? Nay, deepest love is that which loses least. Through the night time while thou sleepest, still I watch the shrouded east. Near thee, my wife that I liveth, lost is no word for such a love as mine. Love from her past to me a present giveth, and love itself doth comfort, making pain divine. Rest, my dear, rest, fair showeth that which was, and not in vain. Sacred have I kept, God knoweth, love's last words atween us twain. Hold by your past, my only love, my lover, fall not, but rise, O love, by loss of me. Boughs from our garden, white with bloom hang over. Love, now the children slumber, I come out to thee. Ah, well, I would not overstate that woe, for I have had some blessings, little care, but since the falling of that heavy blow, God's earth has never seemed to me so fair. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain. The High Tide on the Coast of Lincolnshire by Jean Ingelow, read for LibriVox.org by phone. 1571. The old mare climbed the belfry tower, the ringers ran by 2, by 3. Pull if ye never pulled before, good ringers, pull your best, quoth he. Play up, O Boston bells, ply all your changes, all your swells, play up the brides of Enderby. Men say it was a stolen tide, the Lord that sent it, he knows all, but in mine ears doth still abide the message that the bells let fall. And there was naught of strange beside the flight of mews and peewits pied by millions crouched on the old sea wall. I sat and spun within the door, my thread brake off, I raised mine eyes. The level sun, like ruddy ore, lay sinking in the barren skies. And dark against day's golden death, she moved where Lindis wandereth, my son's fair wife Elizabeth. Cusha, 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 calling. Ere the early dews were falling, far away I heard her song, Cusha, cusha, all along. Where the reedy Lindis floweth, floweth, floweth. From the meads where millet groweth, faintly came her milking song. Cusha, 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 calling, for the dews will soon be falling. Leave your meadow grasses mellow, mellow, mellow. Quit your cowslips, cowslips yellow, come up Whitefoot, come up Lightfoot. Quit the stalks of parsley hollow, hollow, hollow. Come up Jetty, rise and follow, from the clovers lift your head. Come up Whitefoot, come up Lightfoot, come up Jetty, rise and follow, Jetty to the milking shed. If it be long, aye, long ago, when I begin to think how long, again I hear the Lindis flow, swift as an arrow, sharp and strong. And all the air, it seemeth me, been full of floating bells, saith she, that ring the tune of Enderby. All fresh the level pasture lay, and not a shadow mote be seen, save where full 5 good miles away the steeple towered from out the green, and lo, the great bell far and wide was heard in all the countryside that Saturday at eventide. The swanherds where their sedges are moved on in sunset's golden breath. The shepherd lads I heard afar, and my son's wife, Elizabeth. Till floating o'er the grassy sea came down that kindly message free, the brides of Mewis Enderby. Then some looked up into the sky, and all along where Lindis flows, to where the goodly vessels lie, and where the lordly steeple shows. They said, and why should this thing be? What danger lowers by land or sea? They ring the tune of Enderby. For evil news of Mablethorpe, of pirate galleys warping down, for ships ashore beyond the Scorp, they have not spared to wake the town. But while the west been red the sea, and storms be none, and pirates flee, why ring the brides of Enderby? I looked without, and lo, my son Came riding down with might and main. He raised a shout as he drew on, Till all the welkin rang again. Elizabeth! Elizabeth! A sweeter woman ne'er drew breath Than my son's wife, Elizabeth. The old sea wall, he cried, is down. The rising tide comes on apace, And boats adrift in yonder town Go sailing up the market-place. He shook as one that looks on death. God save you, mother, straight he saith. Where is my wife, Elizabeth? Good son, where Lindis winds away, With her 2 bairns I marked her long, And ere yon bells began to play, Afar I heard her milking song. He looked across the grassy sea, To right, to left, Ho Enderby! They rang the brides of Enderby. With that he cried and beat his breast, For lo, along the river's bed, A mighty Eiger reared his crest, And up the Lindis raging sped. It swept with thunderous noises loud, Shaped like a curling snow-white cloud, Or like a demon in a shroud. And rearing Lindis backward pressed, Shook all her trembling banks amain, Then madly as the Eiger's breath Flung up her weltering walls again. Then banks came down with ruin and rout, Then beaten foam flew round about, Then all the mighty floods were out. So far, so fast the Eiger drave, The heart had hardly time to beat, Before a shallow seething wave Sobbed in the grasses at her feet. The feet had hardly time to flee, Before it brake against the knee, And all the world was in the sea. Upon the roof we sat that night, The noise of bells went sweeping by. I marked the lofty beacon light Stream from the church tower, red and high. A lurid mark and dread to see, And awesome bells they were to me, That in the dark ran Enderby. They rang the sailor lads to guide From roof to roof who fearless rode, And I, my son, was at my side, And yet the ruddy beacon glowed. And yet he moaned beneath his breath, "O come in life or come in death, O lost, my love Elizabeth." And didst thou visit him no more? Thou didst, my daughter dear. The waters laid thee at his door, Ere yet the early dawn was clear. Thy pretty bairns in fast embrace, The lifted sun shone on thy face, Down drifted to thy dwelling place. That flow strewed wrecks about the grass, That ebb swept out the flocks to sea, A fatal ebb and flow, alas, To many more than mine and me. But each will mourn his own, she saith, And sweeter woman ne'er drew breath Than my son's wife, Elizabeth. I shall never hear her more By the reedy Lindis shore, Kusje, 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 calling, Ere the early dews be falling. I shall never hear her song, Kusje, kusje, all along, Where the sunny Lindis floweth, goeth, floweth, From the meads where melick groweth, Where the water winding down Onward floweth to the town. I shall never see her more Where the reeds and rushes quiver, shiver, quiver, Stand beside the sobbing river, Sobbing, throbbing in its falling To the sandy lonesome shore. I shall never hear her calling, "Leave your meadow grasses mellow, mellow, mellow. Quit your cowslips yellow. Come up Whitefoot, come up Lightfoot. Quit your pipes of parsley hollow, hollow, hollow. Come up Lightfoot, rise and follow, Lightfoot, Whitefoot. From your clovers lift the head, Come up Jetty, follow, follow, Jetty to the milking shed." End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
Sleep by INGELOW. Read for LibriVox.org by Bruce Kachuk. O sleep, we are beholden to thee, sleep. Thou bearest angels to us in the night, saints out of heaven with palms. Seen by the light, sorrow is some old tale that goeth not deep. Love is a pouting child. Sleep, in the world to come how strange 'twill be, never to want, never to wish for thee. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain. A Reverie by INGELOW. Read for LibriVox.org by Kachuk. When I do sit apart and commune with my heart, she brings me forth the treasures once my own, shows me a happy place where leaf buds swelled apace, and wasting rims of snow in sunlight shone. Rock in a mossy glade, the larch trees lend thee shade, that just begin to feather with their leaves. From out thy crevice deep white tufts of snowdrops peep, and melted rime drips softly from thine eaves. Ah, rock, I know that yet thy snowdrops grow, and yet doth sunshine flick them through the tree, where sheltering branches hide the cottage at its side, that nevermore will shade or shelter me. Once to that cottage door in happy days of yore, my little love made footprints in the snow. She was so glad of spring, she helped the birds to sing. I know she dwells there yet, the rest I do not know. They sang and would not stop, while drop and drop and drop I heard the melted rime in sunshine fall, and narrow wandering rills, where leaned the daffodils, murmured and murmured on, and that was all. I think but cannot tell, I think she loved me well, and some dear fancy with my future twined. But I shall never know. Hope faints and lets it go. That passionate want forbid to speak its mind. Little clouds lie still, like flocks of sheep, or vessels sailing in God's other deep. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain. Work by INGELOW. Read for LibriVox.org by Kachuk. Like coral insects multitudinous, the minutes are whereof our life is made. They build it up as in the deep's blue shade. It grows, it comes to light, and then and thus for both there is an end. The populous sea blossoms close. Our minutes that have paid life's debt of work are spent. The work is laid before our feet that shall come after us. We may not stay to watch if it will speed, the bard if on some luter's string his song live sweetly yet, the hero if his star doth shine. Work is its own best earthly meed, else have we none more than the sea-born throng who wrought these marvelous isles that bloom afar. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain. Though All Great Deeds by INGELOW. Read for LibriVox.org by Kachuk. Though all great deeds were proved but fables fine, though earth's old story could be told anew, though the sweet fashions loved of them that sue were empty as the ruined Delphian shrine, though God did never man, in words benign, with sense of his great fatherhood endue, though life immortal were a dream untrue, and he that promised it were not divine, though soul, though spirit were not, and all hope reaching beyond the bourne melted away, though virtue had no goal and good no scope, but both were doomed to end with this our clay. Though all these were not, to the ungraced air would this remain, to live as though they were. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain. The Long White Seam by Jean Ingelow. Read for LibriVox.org by Bruce Kachuk. As I came round the harbor buoy, the lights began to gleam. No wave the landlocked water stirred, the crags were white as cream. And I marked my love by candlelight, sewing her long white seam. It's aye sewing ashore, my dear, watch and steer at sea. It's reef and furl and haul the line, set sail and think of thee. I climbed to reach her cottage door. Oh, sweetly my love sings. Like a shaft of light her voice breaks forth. My soul to meet it springs. As the shining water leaped of old when stirred by angel wings. A longing to list anew, awake and in my dream. But never a song she sang like this, sewing her long white seam. Fair fall the lights, the harbor lights, that brought me in to thee, and peace dropped down on that low roof for the sight that I did see, and the voice, my dear, that rang so clear, all for the love of me. For oh, with brows bent low by the candle's flickering gleam, her wedding gown it was she wrought, sewing the long white seam. Our only greatness is that we aspire. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain. Married Lovers by Jean Ingelow. Read for LibriVox.org by Bruce Kachuk. Come away, the clouds are high. Put the flashing needles by. Many days are not to spare, or to waste, my fairest fair. All is ready, come today, for the nightingale her lay. When she findeth that the whole of her love and all her soul cannot forth of her sweet throat, sobs the while she draws her breath, and the bravery of her note in a few days altereth. Come ere she despond, and see in a silent ecstasy chestnuts heave for hours and hours all the glory of their flowers to the melting blue above, that broods over them like love. Leave the garden walls where blow apple blossoms pink, and low ordered beds of tulips fine. Seek the blossoms made divine with a scent that is their soul. These are soulless. Bring the white of thy gown to bathe in light walls for narrow hearts. The whole earth is found, and air and sea, not too wide for thee and me. Not too wide, and yet thy face gives the meaning of all space, and thine eyes with starbeams fraught hold the measure of all thought. For of them my soul besought, and was shown a glimpse of thine, a veiled vestal with divine solace in sweet love's despair, for that life is brief as fair. Who hath most, he yearneth most, sure as seldom heretofore, somewhere of the gracious more. Deepest joy the least shall boast, asking with new-opened eyes the remainder, that which lies, oh, so fair, but not all conned, oh, so near, and yet beyond. Come, and in the woodland sit, seem a wonted part of it. Then, while moves the delicate air, and the glories of thy hair little flickering sun-rays strike, let me see what thou art like. For great love enthralls me so, that in sooth I scarcely know. Show me in a house all green, save for long gold wedges' sheen, where the flies, white sparks of fire, dart and hover and aspire, and the leaves, ere stirred on high, feel such joy they needs must sigh, and the untracked grass make sweet all fair flowers to touch thy feet, and the bees about them hum. All the world is waiting. Come! There is nothing held so dear as love, if only it be hard to win. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain. A Lover's Song by INGELOW. Read for LibriVox.org by Bruce Kachuk. She was but a child, and I a man grown. Sweet she was, and fresh and wild, and I thought my own. What could I do? The long grass groweth, the long wave floweth with a murmur on. The why and the wherefore of it all, who knoweth? Ere I thought to lose her, she was grown and gone. This day or that day, in warm spring weather, the lamb that was tame will yearn to break its tether. But if the world wound thee, I said, come back to me, down in the dell, wishing, wishing, wishing for thee. The dews hang on the white May, like a ghost it stands, all in the dusk before day that folds the dim lands. Dark fell the skies when once belated, sad and sorrow-fated, I missed the sun. But wake, heart, and sing, for not in vain I waited. O clear, O solemn dawning, lo, the maid is won! Sweet dews dry early on the grass and clover, lest the bride wet her feet when she walks over. Shine to-day, sunbeams, and make all fair to see. Down the dell she's coming, coming with me. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain. A Birthday by INGELOW. Read for LibriVox.org by Bruce Kachuk. A birthday! And now a day that rose with much of hope, with meaning rife, a thoughtful day from dawn to close, the middle day of human life. There are some days that die not out, nor alter by reflection's power, whose converse calm, whose words devout, forever rest the spirit's dower. And they are days when drops a veil, a mist upon the distance past, and while we say to peace, all hail, we hope that always it shall last. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain. Daughters of Eve by Jean Ingelow. Read for LibriVox.org by Bruce Kachuk. Daughters of Eve, your mother did not well. She laid the apple in your father's hand, and we have read, O wonder, what befell. The man was not deceived, nor yet could stand. He chose to lose, for love of her, his throne. With her could die, but could not live alone. Daughters of Eve, he did not fall so low, nor fall so far, as that sweet woman fell, for something better than as gods to know. That husband in that home left off to dwell. For this, till love be reckoned less than lore, shall man be first and best for evermore. Daughters of Eve, it was for your dear sake the world's first hero died, an uncrowned king, for God's great pity touched the grand mistake, and made his married love a sacred thing. For yet his nobler sons, if aught be true, find the lost Eden in their love to you. I am glad to think I am not bound to make the wrong go right, but only to discover, and to do with cheerful heart, the work that God appoints. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain. Little Goldilocks by Jean Ingelow. Read for LibriVox.org by Bruce Kachuk. Goldilocks sat on the grass, tying up of posies rare. Hardly could a sunbeam pass through the cloud that was her hair. Purple orchis lasteth long, primrose flowers are pale and clear. Oh, the maiden sang a song, it would do you good to hear. Sad before her leaned the boy, Goldilocks that I love well, happy creature, fair and coy, think o' me, sweet Amabel. Goldilocks she shook apart, looked with doubtful, doubtful eyes, like a blossom in her heart, opened out her first surprise. As a glorial sign o' grace, Goldilocks, a fall and flow on the blooming childlike face. Dimple, dimple, come and go. Give her time on grass and sky, let her gaze if she be fain, as they looked ere he drew nigh, they will never look again. Ah, the playtime she has known, while her Goldilocks grew long. Is it like a nestling flown, childhood over, like a song? Yes, the boy may clear his brow, though she thinks to say him nay, when she sighs, I cannot now, come again some other day. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain. The Nightingale heard by the unsatisfied heart, by INGELOW. Read for LibriVox.org by Kachuk. When in a May-day hush chanteth the missel thrush, the harp of the heart makes answer with murmurous stirs. When robin redbreast sings, we think on budding springs, and culvers when they coo are love's remembrancers. But thou in the trance of light stayest the feeding night, and echo makes sweet her lips with the utterance wise, and casts at our glad feet, in a wisp of fancies fleet, life's fair, life's unfulfilled, impassioned prophecies. Her central thought full well thou hast the wit to tell, to take the sense o' the dark and to yield it so, the moral of moonlight to set in a cadence bright, and sing our loftiest dream that we thought none did know. I have no nest as thou, bird on the blossoming bough, yet over thy tongue outfloweth the song o' my soul, chanting, forgo thy strife, the spirit outacts the life, but much is seldom theirs who can perceive the whole. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
Sea-Mews in Wintertime by Jean Ingelow, read for LibriVox.org by phone. I walked beside a dark grey sea, and said, O world, how good thou art! Thou poor white world, I pity thee, for joy and warmth from thee depart. The sea is cold and dark its rim, winter sits cowering on the wold, and I beside this watery brim am also lonely, also cold. I spoke and drew toward a rock, where many mews made twittering sweet. Their wings upreared, the clustering flock did pat the sea grass with their feet. Joy companied with every cry, joy in their food and that keen wind, that heaving sea, that shaded sky, and in themselves and in their kind. Then all at once a flight, and fast the lovely crowd flew out to sea. If mine own life had been recast, earth had not looked more changed to me. Where is the cold? The cold is not in crag nor scar, not in the snows that lap the lea, not in yon wings that beat afar, delighting on the crested sea. No, nor in yon exultant wind that shakes the oak and bends the pine. Look near, look in, and thou shalt find no sense of cold, fond fool, but thine. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain. The Dawn of Love by Jean Ingelow, read for LibriVox.org by phone. When she came, before him first he looked at her and thought on certain things and wished they were undone, because her girlish innocence, the grace of her unblemished pureness wrought in him a longing and aspiring and a shame to think how wicked was the world, that world which he must walk in, while from her, and such as she was, it was hidden, there was made a clean path, and the girl moved on like one in some enchanted ring. But yet the fortunate, the young, loved and much cared for, entered on his strife, a stirring of the heart, a quickening keen, of sight and hearing to the delicate beauty and music of an altered world, began to walk in that mysterious light, which doth reveal and yet transform, which gives destiny, sorrow, youth and death, and life, intenser meaning, in disquieting lifts up, a shining light, men call it love. The spring came on. Looking to wed in April, all her thoughts grew loving. She would fain the world had waxed more happy with her happiness, and oft, Walking among the flowery woods she felt their loveliness reach down into her heart, and knew with them the ecstasies of growth, the rapture that was satisfied with light, the pleasure of the leaf in exquisite expansion through the lovely longed for spring. She knew that in the stronghold of his heart, held back, hidden reserves of measureless content, kept down with happy thought, for her sake mute. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain. The Coming In of the Ship by Jean Ingelow, read for LibriVox.org by Foon. The moon is bleached as white as wool, and just dropping under. Every star is gone but three, and they hang far asunder. There's a sea ghost all in grey, a tall shape of wonder. I am not satisfied with sleep, the night is not ended, but look how the sea ghost comes, with wan skirts extended, stealing up in this weird hour where light and dark are blended. A vessel, to the old pier end her happy course she's keeping. I heard them name her yesterday, some were pale with weeping. Some with their heart hunger sighed she's in, and they are sleeping. Oh, now with fancied greetings blest, they comfort their long aching. The sea of sleep hath borne to them what would not come with waking, and the dream shall be most true in their blissful breaking. The stars are gone, the rose bloom comes, no blush of maid is sweeter. The red sun, halfway out of bed, shall be the first to greet her. None tell the news, yet sleepers wake, and rise and run to meet her. Their loss they have, they hold, from pain a keener bliss they borrow. How natural is joy, my heart, how easy after sorrow. For once, the best is come that hope promised them tomorrow. Love, such a slender moon, going up and up, waxing so fast from night to night, and swelling like an orange flower bud. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain. A Dead Year by Jean Ingelow, read for LibriVox.org by Foon. I took a year out of my life and story, a dead year, and I said, I will hew thee a tomb. I took the year out of my life and story, the dead year, and said, I have hewed thee a tomb. All the kings of the nations lie in glory, cased in cedar and shut in a sacred gloom. But for the sword and the scepter and diadem, sure thou didst reign like them. So I laid her with those tyrants old and hoary, according to my vow. For I said, the kings of the nations lie in glory, and so shalt thou. Rock, I said, thy ribs are strong, that I bring thee guarded long. Hide the light from buried eyes, hide it lest the dead arise. Year, I said, and turned away, I am free of thee this day. All that we two only know, I forgive and I forego. So thy face no more I meet, in the field or in the street. Thus we parted, she and I. Life hid death and put it by. Life hid death and said, be free. I have no more need of thee. No more need, oh mad mistake, with repentance in its wake. Ignorant and rash and blind, life had left the grave behind, but had locked within its hold, with the spices and the gold, all she had to keep her warm in the raging of the storm. Scarce the sunset bloom was gone, and the little stars outshone, ere the dead year stiff and stark drew me to her in the dark. Death drew life to come to her, beating at her sepulchre, crying out, how can I part with the best share of my heart? Lo, it lies upon the bier, captive with the buried year. Oh, my heart! And I fell prone, weeping at the sealed stone. Year among the shades, I said, since I live and thou art dead, let my captive heart be free, like a bird to fly to me. And I stayed some voice to win, but none answered from within. And I kissed the door, and night deepened till the stars waxed bright, and I saw them set and wane, and the world turned green again. So, I whispered, open door, I must tread this palace floor. And I entered. On the bier Quiet lay the buried year. I sat down where I could see Life without and sunshine free, Death within, and I between Waited my own heart to wean From the shroud that shaded her In the rock-hewn sepulchre. Waited till the dead should say, Heart, be free of me this day. Waited with a patient will, And I wait between them still. I take the dead year back to my life and story, The dead year, and say, I will share in thy tomb. All the kings of the nations lie in glory, Cased in cedar and shut in a sacred gloom. They reigned in their lifetime with sceptre and diadem, But thou excellest them. For life doth make thy grave her oratory, And the crown is still on thy brow. All the kings of the nations lie in glory, And so dost thou. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain. Song of Going Away by Jean Ingelow, read for LibriVox.org by phone. Old man, upon the green hillside, with yellow flowers besprinkled o'er, how long in silence wilt thou bide at this low stone door? I stoop, within 'tis dark and still, but shadowy paths methinks there be, and lead they far into the hill? Traveller, come and see. 'Tis dark, 'tis cold, and hung with gloom, I care not now within to stay, For thee and me is scarcely room, I will hence away. Not so, not so, thou youthful guest, Thy foot shall issue forth no more. Behold the chamber of thy rest, And the closing door. Oh, have I 'scaped the whistling ball, And striven on smoky fields of fight, And scaled the leaguered city's wall, In the dangerous night, And borne my life unharmed still, Through foaming gulfs of yeasty spray, To yield it on a grassy hill, At the noon of day? Peace, say thy prayers and go to sleep, Till some time one my seal shall break, And deep shall answer unto deep, When he crieth, Awake! End of poem. This recording is in the public domain. Look Up by Jean Ingelow, read for LibriVox.org by phone. O Lamb of God, I love my child so much! He stole away to thee while we two slept. But give him back, for thou hast many such, And as for me, I have but one. O deign, dear pity of God, to give him me again. Lo, her little child was gone indeed, The sleep that knows no waking he had slept, Folded to heaven's own heart, in rainbow bread, Clothed and made glad, while they two mourned and wept. But in the drinking of their bitter cup, The sweet voice spoke once more, and sighed, Look up! They heard, and straightway answered, Even so. For what abides that we should look on here? The heavens are better than this earth below, They are of more account and far more dear. We will look up, for all most sweet and fair, Most pure, most excellent, is garnered there. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain. More Life by Jean Ingelow, read for LibriVox.org by phone. When I reflect how little I have done, and add to that how little I have seen, then furthermore how little I have won of joy or good, how little known or been, I long for other life more full, more keen, and yearn to change with such as well have run. Yet reason mocks me; nay, the soul, I ween, Granted her choice, would dare to change with none. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain. End of From Queen's Gardens by Jean Ingelow.